says Michigan Cannabis Regulator recalls certain, and they basically are recalling certain Viola edibles for excessive THC. Can you guys believe this? Viola. Michigan's Cannabis Regulatory Agency on Wednesday recalled certain marijuana edibles produced by the cannabis company Shango and branded Viola Grandma's Kitchen. The recall, which is voluntary and affects a limited amount of marijuana-infused edible products, was issued because Shango was both unable to demonstrate that the product was homogeneous and because the product exceeds the maximum allowable THC limit, the concentration per serving, the CRA said. The recalled edibles come in varieties such as Big Apple Dreaming, Uptown Espresso, Paradise Island, and Auntie's Punch, and are produced by Shango, a vertically integrated cannabis company with operations in Oregon, Washington, Nevada, and Michigan, among other states, according to its websites. Nearly 2,200 of the affected products were sold at dispensaries, including Information in Entropy in Ann Arbor, Shango's dispensary in Hazel Park, Emerald Fire Provisioning Center in Coleman near Mount Pleasant, and Plan B Wellness Center in Detroit. That's an interesting name. Generally, between late May to late July, nearly 6,800 of the affected products are on hold at Michigan dispensaries. David Harns, a spokesperson for the CRA, said, meaning that they aren't available for customers to purchase. Viola is a cannabis company founded by former NBA player Al Harrington, which has a medical marijuana dispensary in Detroit. Viola entered into an agreement with Shango to help fill the demand for Viola's edibles, the company said in an email statement, and said it came as a surprise that its partner did not share the same commitment it has to adhere to compliance standards. In the statement, Viola said it cooperated with the investigation, supported the agency's suggestion to recall the edibles, and noted that no other Viola products have been subjected to the recall. An email was not immediately returned seeking comment from Shango, and homogeneity is important for cannabis edibles because it ensures that the THC is spread evenly throughout the product so they deliver a consistent experience. The products were sold at adult use marijuana dispensaries, and the maximum amount of THC per allowable dose in Michigan is 10 milligrams. Customers who have these products in their possession should return them to the marijuana sales location for proper disposal, the CRA said. And consumers who have experienced adverse reactions after using this product should report their symptoms and product use to their healthcare providers, the agency said. Consumers are also encouraged to report any adverse reactions to the products to the CRA by completing a, in quotes, adverse reaction reporting form that can be found on the agency's website, or phone them at 517-284-8599, the CRA said. Well, Viola has a little whoop-de-doo with their gummies, apparently. What do you guys think about this?
I'm surprised this wasn't found before it went out to stores.
Yeah.
Part of the testing requirements are that you get, in California certificate of analysis, which shows that you've got homogeneity and that each serving is 10 milligrams consistently within a couple of percent, I think it is out here,
Yes.
Jason.
Yep.
And that should never have been shipped. It was lucky it was a small batch before it got caught. Whoever produced that,
Shango.
be paying for the recall here.
Shango produced it.
Yeah, when you put together these licensing agreements and these somebody else manufactures your product, you white label it for them. They need to be responsible for making sure they comply with the regulation. This is going to be costly, and it kind of makes me chuckle that they want you to call your healthcare provider if you had an adverse reaction.
I thought that too.
A gummy that had 12% THC in it rather than
And then 10. Exactly. I thought a similar thing. But you know what I also was thinking? It was like, why would anybody want to return these to the store? If anything, they can probably get more money for them since they're higher than the allotted amount. They could probably put them on eBay and sell them for more money.
Just taking themselves and not know the difference.
Yeah.
That's the stupid thing about this.
Exactly.
Between 10 and 12% is like what? You're gonna what, hallucinate because now your gummy has 12%
Yeah, yeah,
THC,
get the hell out of
at
here with
12
that.
milligrams. It's like, this is
Yeah,
nuts.
you guys are beat batshit crazy.
Seriously.
What are your
I also don't understand how it happened. Like, I don't understand how they got to market. I don't understand when the investigation came in. Like, I don't, the whole story is very confusing.
I agree with you. It doesn't allude to how this investigation happened, how they got tipped off that the products, I mean, maybe they could have had some kind of agent in there just doing some random control buy for the agency, and they wanted to go and test the products, and that's how they possibly found out afterwards. I know I've seen that happen here in California with a few different products from time to time, but I do find it very interesting, and I find it a little bit interesting, Viola's response, in the sense of that they feel that their manufacturing partner doesn't have the same level of commitment to compliance, so per se.
Yeah, what does that say about, Viola passing the buck? And then also,
Yeah.
how are you vetting your partners if you
Mm-hmm.
don't trust your partner? And Shango's a pretty big company,
Yeah.
so it's kind of interesting that they're throwing them under the bus, but it really doesn't speak volumes to Viola. It's
Yeah.
kind of like you're both implicit in this, like vet your partners.
Yeah. And then
Well,
it was
and
like, oh, go ahead, Dale.
you need to have standards of practice for how you manufacture this stuff. That needs to go along with the licensing and white labeling agreement. Because if you're buying their gummy bears and having to put your name on it, and you're risking their manufacturing practices. But if you have your own and you produce homogeneous product that has 10 milligrams consistently, that procedure should be passed along and they should comply with it. And you should have records as you go along. How much of each thing did you put in at what time? And make sure you do R&D testing as it comes out for quality control. It seems like the quality control here should have caught this before it went out.
Maybe they were sick that day, Dale.
Yeah, or they had rectal myopia. That's that may be what we're talking about.
I was a little confused. I was like, what happened? Like they forgot this batch of gummies. They didn't put it in the mixer for an hour and a half as opposed to like maybe 10 minutes or something today, or what?
Well, we develop standard operating procedures, SOPs, and that goes from everything, the quality of what you bring in for your ingredients, how it's manufactured. Someone's got to be there watching this stuff, and the people who do it have to sign off, because if something really is in there that hurts somebody, they're going to want to go back up the chain of command and see who did what.
Mm-hmm.
How did this piece of metal get in there? Or how did rat shit get in there? Or whatever it is, it turns out. Where did this happen, so that they can prevent it and maybe fire some people? You can't be manufacturing products for human consumption and have your head up your ass. It's going to get you in trouble.
So you smell a firing job coming up, huh, Dale? Someone's going to get off with their head.
That's my specialty. Hand them their last check and tell them, get the fuck out of here.
Kick rocks, huh? Oh boy.
But I'm an asshole for hire. So
I really wonder if I wonder if in lieu of this, if Viola is going to drop their contract with Shango and look for another producer.
Well, I would hope something happens here. They need assurances from this manufacturer this is not going to happen again. And you should have in these agreements, you're going to indemnify the company for anything that costs them. We'll see. I mean, this may have been a minor oops, and they pay for it and doesn't happen again. But the problem is you can manufacture something that can actually hurt somebody. Getting a little extra THC, you may not like the experience. It ain't going to hurt you as long as you're not trying to drive.
Well, okay? I feel like the biggest thing with this non-homogeneous gummies, the biggest thing is all the money that they paid in packaging and production time that is basically lost because they're unable to sell it.
Well, in
like
the
it's not really
manufacturing
gonna hurt
process, you can have R&D machines yourself. And if you're going to be a large manufacturer, it's probably a decent investment. Or have R&D testing close by. So that as you get through parts of this process, it could really go south. You take a sample and send it over. Make sure it's homogeneous and it has X number of milligrams per gram of product so that you're within the range of acceptable. before you send it downrange to be sold, and then have to bring it all back and pay all the expenses. It's a failure of the manufacturing process that actually got out, and that's who should be responsible. But you can't fix this. Don't go back to them.